Hello everyone, this is round 6 from the Olympiad. At this point, I had 1 out of 4, so this game was very important to me. d4, e6, c4, knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4, and we have the Nimzo Indian defense. Bishop d2, short castles, e3, d5, knight f3. Black's most popular moves here are b6 and c5, but I chose knight bd7. Takes, bishop d3, knight b6. This move doesn't really have a future. Instead, rook e8 followed by knight f8, knight g6 was definitely better. a3, takes, bishop g4, b3 allowed me the strong knight e4. Rook c1, another strong move, f5, defending the knight on e4 and threatening f4 at the right moment. Short castles, rook f6, a rook lift to create more threats. h3, bishop h5. The bishop is strong, so I would like to keep it for the moment. Bishop e2, knight d7. The knight on b6 is doing nothing, so I need to bring it back in the game. Knight e5, forcing the exchange of several pieces. Takes, knight takes e5, d takes e5, rook g6. This is the purpose of the rook lift, creating more threats. Rook d1, queen h4, creating more and more possibilities and even direct threats like queen takes h3. King f1, moving away from the pin. I spent 11 minutes and I played rook f8, preparing for f4. Apparently, f4 immediately was better. Let's find the difference. For example, f4, e takes f4, queen takes f4, king g1, rook f8, bishop e1, c6. Here, black has very strong attack, no weaknesses, and white has no chances to counter-attack. The difference with rook f8 is that white can play bishop b4. Rook f7, rook takes d5. Of course, I don't mind about the pawn on d5. So f4. Rook d1, preparing to play rook d8 check. Here, black has two possible moves, h6 and h5. It's not easy to understand the difference between them, but let's see. I played h6. Here, white has a series of forcing moves. Rook check, king h7, queen f3, attacking the knight. The most natural move here is knight g5, but the problem is that white can play queen g4, forcing black to trade queens. If the pawn was on h5, queen g4 would not be possible. After trading queens, takes f3, white has very strong rooks, a strong bishop and a passed pawn, so I felt that white would be winning. I played knight d6. It's a bit risky, but I knew that my opponent will be confused. It disconnects the rooks. The best move according to the engine is rook takes d6, but my opponent didn't play it. Remember, We are both in time pressure. She played rook a8, and now I'm able to complete my plan, and by taking the pawn on e3, takes knight f5, just joining the knight into the attack. Queen d2, I use the pin, king e1, knight e4, and now the f2 pawns falls. Rook d3 takes, king d1, check, king c1, queen e2, I took the rook, takes, check, king b1, check, and here my opponent resigned because if something like king to a2, rook takes d2, check, queen takes d2, queen takes d2 check, king b1, and rook c1 checkmate.